This is the Galvan Brookie, and it's Galvan's take on high-performance click-pawl reel, and today I'm here to review it. If you've been following our channel, you're probably aware that we've been reviewing a lot of high-performance click-pawl reels recently, and that's because, well, mostly we've run out of disc drag reels to review. But this Galvan Brookie is yet another example of a great high-performance click-pawl reel. You're probably thinking that most of these high-end, high-performance click-pawl reels are fairly similar. And frankly, you'd be right. There's not tons and tons of differences between them, at least from a functional perspective. What the Galvan Brookie offers is made in the USA quality, a great brand, and frankly a great family that backs it, and a wider range of colors. But if you want to see how this Brookie is similar to other high-end clickers, let's get started with this review by starting with the drag. And of course, being a clicker, it does not have a drag. And in fact, this clicker has no adjustment whatsoever. It is a highly minimalist reel. In fact, there's even a weird pin here where the drag or any sort of adjustment would be. There are some internal differences, however, where a standard click mechanism uses some springs and things like that. This one here uses some indents and what looks to me like some tiny ball bearings, but they're probably not actually bearings. Maybe they're tiny rods or something like that to make that clicking sound and provide you with some sort of resistance. The resistance on this reel, though, is not a lot, but it is there, and again, you can't adjust it. Of course, because it doesn't have a drag, it's not sealed, and I would not recommend this reel for saltwater use. So let's move on to the spool, and like all of our high-performance clickers, this does have a fairly nice spool design. We've got a max spool diameter of 3.2 inches, a nice narrow width of 0.85 inches, and a fairly large arbor size of 2.15 inches. And that's going to yield a retrieval rate that is pretty quick at roughly 7.5 inches per turn, or roughly 150 turns for your 100-foot fly line. And frankly, that's a fairly high-performing reel. And it's very high-performing when you compare it to your grandfather's click-pawl reel. But when you compare it to other reels in the same category and price range, it's definitely way slower than Lamson Purist, which comes in at 9 inches, and a little bit slower than the Ross Colorado, which comes in at 7.8 inches per turn. Overall, though, it is fine, and if you're looking for a clicker, you're probably going to be fishing in those smaller freshwater situations where retrieval rate isn't going to be the absolute most important thing. That said, when you're picking up your line to move to a different spot, it helps to have faster retrieve. In terms of backing capacity, you'll be able to fit about 75 yards with your weight forward 5 weight, again on this 4.5 size, which is exactly what you'd expect for a high performance clicker. It's also going to be more than you'll ever really need for any trout fishing application. And with that, let's talk about the weight, which comes in at 3.18 ounces for this 4.5 sized reel, and that is again fairly light. The massive benefit on these high performance clickers is that they are way lighter than their disc drag counterparts, and this one is no exception. 3.18 ounces isn't the absolute lightest, but it's definitely all you're really going to need, and it's going to balance any super short or lightweight rod really well. In terms of sound, I think Galvan falls short here. They've got a lot of really great sounding reels in the lineup, like the Torque. This one is really, really muted. Have a listen. As you can tell, there's really no differentiation between the incoming and the outgoing, and like I said, it's just really pretty soft. One of the benefits of fishing a clicker is you get that great sound, and when you catch a small trout, you can hear it kind of taking off. On this one, you won't really hear much. And if there's one critique I have of this reel, it just doesn't sound that good. That's a major drawback for this type of reel. This review is brought to you by Trident Travel, which is our new destination travel service where you'll get our expert advice, planning, and guidance at no additional cost. That means no credit card fees, no booking fees, and for a limited time, you'll even earn Trident rewards on your travel bookings. So with every trip you book, you'll be earning valuable points that you can use towards free tackle here at Trident. Recently, we've had some clients go on some absolutely fantastic trips like tarpon fishing in Belize, Atlantic salmon fishing in New Brunswick, and trout fishing in Alaska. So if you're thinking about taking a fly fishing trip, Trident Travel is the way to do it. We've got a ton of great destinations, excellent service, and even more destinations being added every month. Check us out at tridentflyfishing.com/travel. Last but not least is Ergonomics, and really that's going to come down to the handle here, and it's a pretty nice handle, though like most Galvans, I do wish it did come in a little bit longer size. The spool does release fairly easily as well if you're going to be changing spools. And that brings us to the price, which, as you might expect for a high quality USA made product, and this comes in at $305, which is pretty much in line with most of the rest of the high-end clickers that we've seen. They're all priced in that $300 range, and personally, I feel like the story on this reel would be a lot better at $299, but needless to say, they don't listen to me. So now that we've reviewed so many of these similar high-performance clickers, I'm asking myself, where does this reel fall? And I'd say it's definitely a great looking reel, probably not as good looking as the Ross Colorado. If you're looking for that higher end look and feel, plus that better sound, the Colorado gives it to you, though performance wise, they're fairly similar. If you're looking for max performance, the Purist definitely wins on that front, and the Sage Click as well is a much higher performer. So I think that leaves us with a couple of people who might really want this reel. First is color. This reel comes in way more colors than those other reels. So if you're looking for a specific look, Galvan has it, those other reel brands don't. Additionally, this one is really truly USA made. So if having a USA made product is really important to you, this is going to be one to go for. But I should add that the Colorado is also USA made. And I think the final category for people who should be looking at this Galvan Brookie is, frankly, fans of the Galvan brand. Galvan is a fantastic brand. They're family owned. They're, again, making their products here in the USA. And I think that's a great reason to support them. Tell me what you think about this reel by leaving us a comment in the box below. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps us out and you'll get notified for all of our upcoming great reel reviews. And if you've got questions about this Brookie or any reel in the Galvan lineup, we've got answers. Give us a shout at 888-413-5211 or email us 24/7 at support@tridentflyfishing.com. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.